And welcome everybody. My name is Robert. I'm the product manager here at LeanSwift. And in this video, I'm going to give you an overview of a new feature that we've added to eConnect in version 15.3. We're calling this Customer Information Sync, and it's the next step in our expansion of the basic data synchronization abilities of eConnect. And the possibility of keeping your Magento environment updated from a basic data perspective based on the data that you have in M3. I'm going to be showing you this in a Magento Enterprise environment, but everything that you see here is also available for Magento Community Edition. So without further ado, we're going to jump in here and have a look at the background configuration. So we're going to go to System Configuration here in Magento Admin. I'm going to scroll down here just to the LeanSwift section so that you see that we're in the eConnect subsection of the configuration. And we've added a new group here called Customer Synchronization. I'm going to run through quickly here what the parameters that we have here, what they do, and then we'll have a look at an example where we synchronize a customer and look at the data coming over from M3. So the first parameter here is whether we should update the address information with the customer basic data information when one of your customers logs in on your Magento front-end site. If this is set to yes, we're going to do a real-time call to M3 and make sure to refresh any changes to customer data or addresses. If this is set to no, then you rely on either the manual synchronization option that I'll show you here in a little bit, or the possibility of using a background cron job to perform the synchronization. The second setting here is to filter out which types of addresses from the customer in M3 that should be brought over to Magento. We recommend that you at least have the way it's configured in this environment, address types 1 and 3, which is the delivery and the invoice address in M3, to come over. But of course you can put in any of the valid address types from M3 and bring over every address associated with the customer. And we'll have a look at in a little bit where we're pulling the addresses from within M3. And then after that we have 3 sections here with attribute mappings. Now these are very similar. In fact, they're exactly the same type of mapping that we have for product data and a couple of other things within eConnect. So the way that it works is the first column denotes the attribute within Magento. Second column is the corresponding attribute then in M3. And then the third column denotes a default value. So should the M3 field be blank, then whatever is in the default value will be used to update Magento. So as an example here, Magento address street is going to be populated from M3 customer address line 1. Field street 2 is going to come from customer address line 2. Postcode in the Magento address is going to be populated from postal code in M3, excuse me, and so on. And this first section then is for the billing address in Magento. The second mapping here is for the shipping address, otherwise exactly the same thing. And the third and last attribute mapping is for additional customer master data. So as you see in the help text here, we're using the CRS610MI API, the get basic data and get financial data transactions to pull virtually all of the available fields from the M3 customer master CRS610, and then you have the option then of mapping those that data against the various Magento customer attributes that exist. So that's the background setting within eConnect to support this. Now we're going to jump over quickly here to M3, and I'm going to show you a test customer that I have set up, RB500. First going to go in and look at what we refer to as the default address, the main contact address on the first panel here of the customer master. You see that's the South Watkins Road here in Boulder, Colorado address. If I do a previous there, then after that I'm going to take you into the customer addresses here in OIS 002, where you see that I have 3 addresses in total. 2 are delivery addresses of address type 1, Fillmore Court and 740 Front Street, and then the third one is an invoice address, which is the 1789 28th Street. So that's the address situation that I have in M3. If we move back to Magento, I have then prepared and created a customer in Magento that I've associated with that same customer number in M3. If I open up and show you the details here, you'll see under addresses that we have no addresses at all here for the moment. So we're going to go back and I'll show you the options that we've added here from the customer grid. I'm going to select that customer, and under actions we've got 2 new actions here, ERP customer details sync and ERP address sync. And the customer details is what's going to look for and bring over that default address from the first panel of the customer master, as well as any of those other customer detail attributes that you might have mapped. So let's submit that first part of the synchronization. And once that's done, we get a confirmation here on the top. I'm going to open up my customer again. We'll move into the addresses. And you see that it brought over that main default address from the customer master, which was my South Watkins Road. At the bottom of the ERP customer's address here, you see 2 fields, ERP address type and address ID, where we then use default in the address type to denote that main address from the first panel of the customer master. And then you'll see that we'll also peg the invoice and delivery and the other types of addresses in a corresponding manner. So we're going to go back and we'll do this again. We'll select that same customer, but this time we'll choose the ERP address sync and press submit. And once this synchronization is done, we'll open up the customer again here. We'll move into the address tab, and now you see that besides the South Watkins Road, I now have those 3 additional customer addresses. I have the Fillmore Court, which in the ERP address type you see that it's address type 1, delivery, and you also see that sequence number, the M3 address ID be brought in. You see my second delivery address, as well as that invoice address, which was 1789 28th Street. Besides that, one of the things I also had mapped from M3 into Magento was to update the company with the company number from M3. So that's something else that this synchronization put in place for us. So that was everything I wanted to show you. Thanks for looking, and tune in for the next video to learn some more.